Hey everyone, today I'm here to teach you a lesson which is very important. That's a grammar topic that students quite often have trouble with, especially Brazilians, because we will be speaking about a verb tense which we don't have in Portuguese. Guess what? We will be talking about the present perfect simple tense. Okay, so forgive me because sometimes I will be looking down. I have here some notes, some phrases that I will be referring to because I don't want to lose track of my lesson plan for you. Okay? So I have just picked some pieces of news. They are fresh from some websites. I'll be reading one. Okay, this is pretty recent. So it's in the news. Brazil has been one of the countries worst affected by COVID-19. That's the hot topic now, right? Okay, to give you one more example from a different kind of media, I will be saying some sentences from a series that I don't know if you have watched it or not, but it is popular. It is called Chesapeake Shores, and the phrases I will be reading, they are in the very first episode from the first season, and these are phrases said by a character whose name is Abby. Okay, so one phrase is I haven't decided yet. Another is I've had a very long day. Okay, so just to give you a few examples, if you are attentive, if you pay attention, you will find thousands of examples in movies, in series, in the media, everywhere. Of course, present perfect simple is a tense, and like when we speakers, we use a variety of tenses and language all the time. Okay, so let's once and for all clarify how to use the present perfect simple tense. Good. The first thing that you should bear in mind is the present perfect simple tense is a past present tense. What does it mean? It means the action we are describing with this tense started sometime in the past and has a connection with the present. Okay, so this is the most important thing about it. If you remember this, you can master present perfect simple or continuous tenses. Why? Because this makes a huge difference between the present perfect simple and the past simple tense. These are verbs that students mix. They don't know when to use one, when to use another. But when you are describing an action, an event, that is finished in the past, in other words, this is a pure past event or past action. You don't have another choice, but the past simple tense or simple past, some grammar books, say simple past, some others say past simple. Doesn't matter, okay? So, past action, simple past. Period. However, this is the difference. If the action is past and present at the same time, if you are making reference to the present, then you don't have another choice. You must use the present perfect simple tense. Okay? Let's now analyze some of the most common uses of this verb tense. Okay. So let's go back again. Let's have in mind once more that this is a past present tense. And then if I say, for instance, I've lived here since I was born. Why present perfect simple? I have lived. When did I start living here? When I was born. Am I still living here? Yes, I am. Okay? So, past, present. Okay? These two periods of my life are there. I've lived here since I was born. Started living in the past and I'm still living now. Okay? Before moving on, maybe I should refer to the structure of this verb tense. As you have probably noticed, I am using have, I have lived. We could also say has for he, she, it. She has lived. So I use have or has plus the past participle of the main verb, which is the third column of regular or irregular verbs. Okay, I have lived. She has met. They have seen. We have been. Okay, so been, seen, lived, left, met, etc. They are the third column, the popular third column of grammar books or books. But this structure has a name, which is past participle. Okay, that's good. Okay, moving on a little bit more. The present perfect simple tense can also be used to express duration, just like the present perfect continuous tense. When we talk about duration, many times that duration involves the past and the present. Something that started in the past and continues up to now, which is exactly my first example. I've lived here since I was born, since. And then for duration, we must use time expressions like since, like for. When you say since, you must necessarily use present perfect simple tense. But don't forget, I'm using since as a time expression, okay? If I say for, be careful, that depends. Once again, if the duration implies past and present, present perfect simple. If the duration is the duration of an event that is finished in the past, forget it. You will have to use simple past, like I worked for that company for 10 years. And then I found a new job. Okay? I worked there for 10 years. That means I'm not there anymore. There is no connection with the present whatsoever. So we can express duration in the past. But duration, that means past and present. We don't have an option. We must use present perfect simple. Okay. Okay. There is something interesting about present perfect simple, and students could have a doubt here because we can also use the present perfect continuous to express duration. Yeah? But when we want to speak about duration that is short term, sorry, that is not short term, we will prefer to use the present perfect simple, like I've worked here most of my life. Okay, this duration isn't short term. Why is that? Because sometimes when we want to talk about duration, which is short term, then our choice will be the present perfect continuous tense. For example, I've been working here a few days. Okay? Okay, one more use. When we are talking about completed events, that means done, something is done, something has already happened, and within a period of time which is unfinished, we are again going to use the present perfect simple tense. For example, I've had 2 accidents this week. The accidents are over. I'm not having them until now. That is absurd. Okay. They are complete, they happened, they are over. But I'm talking about them within this time, which is unfinished, this week. By the way, every time we mention quantity, yeah, I've read 2 books this semester. My best friend has written 2 projects until now. Okay, so you see, every time I'm using a number, I mean all these things are completed. Time isn't finished, and then I use the present perfect simple tense. There is one use which is quite common. Students sometimes don't understand it very well, but I will explain it to you now. Like when you are talking about recent activities, and it's not important to mention time. For example, I've lost my glasses. Where are they? I can't see. I've lost them. Well, the action of losing them, let me put them back on. So the action of losing is pretty recent. Okay. Do I have to say minutes ago? No, it's not important. Okay, it would be odd to say that, but it's pretty recent. So in that case, most speakers' choice is gonna be present perfect simple, just like I've done. Yeah, and if you're paying close attention to me, I am using a lot of examples myself of present perfect simple during this class, right? Okay, and then of course we use the present perfect simple tense with certain expressions like just, already, or yet. He has just left. Have you already done your homework? Have you done your homework yet? Okay. So these time expressions, they imply a connection with the present, or recent activity, like just already, they mean pretty recent activity, yet has a connection between the past and now. Yeah? And then to talk about life experiences. So, have you ever been to China? Have you ever eaten caviar? Has she ever worked with children? Okay, so liking questions then. Ever is a word that appears in this type of situation when we are talking about life experiences. But pay attention, there's something interesting there. Well, I want to know if in your life and you're alive, you were born, I don't know when, doesn't matter, okay? Don't ask me when I was born. but I can tell you later. Okay, so if I am alive and I was born in the past, of course, obviously, I'm considering, in order to ask you about a life experience, I'm considering all this time between the moment you were born, which is past, all those years in the past in your life, up until now, when I'm talking to you. And that's why I have to use the present perfect simple, because do you remember what I said before? The first thing I said, I pointed out past present. That's it. I'm talking about a past present thing. I want to know about past present event because I don't have the faintest idea when you had that certain experience I'm curious about. So I go, have you ever eaten caviar? And then you answer. If you say, yes, I have, now I know that at a certain moment in your life, you had that experience. And then I turn all my questions into past. Okay, because now I'm not interested anymore in your whole life, but in that certain experience you had once in your life. And then the conversation goes on in the simple past, right? Okay, and so let's go back to the beginning of this lesson when I exposed two examples. One in the news. Brazil has been one of the countries worst affected by COVID-19. Has been when? Last year? No, past present. Since the pandemic started until now. Yeah? So they are considering all this time, has been all this time from the beginning of the pandemic up until now, past present. Okay? And then those examples from Chesapeake Shores, from Abby, the character. I haven't decided yet. So she's using present perfect simple because she's using the expression yet. Yet means I haven't decided yet